Welcome, my people. Welcome back to another episode of A Little with Jude podcast. It's Jude, your host, as always. Happy New Year again. Are we still saying that? It's like third week of January. First off, I'm going to say I'm having a great night tonight. Senegal just beat Morocco in the AFCON finals and I'm thrilled. I'm overjoyed. It was a dramatic match, lots of back and forth. They were very closely tied in terms of how well they played, but Senegal ultimately won after a very nerve-wracking penalty which they lost. For those that have been following, if you can recall, on Wednesday, Morocco beat Nigeria in semi-finals and it was very painful and disappointing to watch. So yes, I'm partly consoled as a Nigerian fan that Morocco still lost, even though they did great. So AFCON is finally over. I can get back to my life. In my last episode, I gave a major life update. I was like, I rested. Throughout December, I survived the holidays. It was a time of taking it easy on myself, thriving, refreshing. I have another major update. This one is not quite a win like that, but I don't think it's a loss either. It's more of a lesson I am learning. My January is not going quite how I planned. It's not going quite how I expected it. I don't know, for some reason my momentum just hasn't picked up the way I thought it would have. I planned a lot of stuff for January, naturally, as we always do. New habits, new hobbies. In fact, some days ago, like last week, I went out. I bought a beautiful journal, hardcover notebooks, sketch pad, pens, pencils, everything I needed because I was trying to pick up a new hobby, journaling, writing, sketching, and my sketch pad is still blank completely. My 2 hardcovers are still blank, except for a few random quotes I scribbled on the covers, inside the covers. My journal is mostly empty. I told myself this year I'm going to take journaling seriously. I didn't finish my journal last year. It still has some pages left. I wasn't happy about that. So I was like, this year I'm going to take journaling more seriously. Day 19 and I still haven't done that. My reading, I had a whole reading list. This is the first time, I always normally have a reading list TBR, but this time I mapped it out, how many books per month, which books, the themes I was reading through, and I can tell you January is almost over. This is the third week of January. I haven't finished the first book. I haven't even gone halfway. I was going to start going to the gym. I haven't registered. I haven't even texted the guy. I was going to make moves concerning my business, do some talking, do some research. I have not done that either. My point is, January is kind of a slow month for me, or the topic says, I am failing January. Again, the topic says, it's okay. I think that is okay. I'm not going too hard on myself. I would say this isn't the first time it's happening to me, and I know it's definitely not happening to just me. It cannot be only me in the whole world. That's how January is. I'm not excusing anything, but I'm just saying January has a way of catching us off guard. You think you have everything planned out. You think you're just going to jump into it and start the year. But as always with life, we always get 1 or 2 surprises. I think January is free trial for the products. Okay, imagine 2026 is a product. January is your free trial period. You get to bumble through, plan, unplan, replan, make changes, make adjustments in your mind, make adjustments in your body, make adjustments outwardly. I feel January is a trial phase. I'm not saying now that it's not good to just start our year on a good note, just take off, hit the ground running. In fact, I have a lot of respect to the people that hit the ground running. I don't know how. Let me not say I don't know, because that's admitting an intentional ignorance. Man, I don't believe there's anybody who just gets into January and just completely starts running to the degree that they wanted. Some people do better than others, but still, I feel January is It's like warm up. Because December, you can't start planning your whole year from December. Yes, to plan, to fail, to plan is to plan, to fail. Planning ahead is good. And obviously by December of a previous year, you should already have an idea of like what you want for your next year, how you want. But still, December is for winding down, rounding up, just tidying up, closing off one year. So January should be for winding up again. It should be like a pre-game warm-up, if you will. I mean, AFCON is over. I still have sports terminology on my tongue. But it should be like for warming up, getting yourself back into the game. I know lots of churches, especially here around us in Nigeria, they do like days of fasting prayer. We have some do 14, 21 days, some do 7, some do like a whole month of just dedicated to seeking God. Basically, they go to church every day or on some specific days. They take fasts, praying, waiting on God. It's just a period of locking in aside from distractions. That's why you fast, leave food. And I think that's great. I look forward to it. I've always looked forward to it. I think I'm looking forward to my church period of seeking God more than ever this year. And what am I saying? It doesn't even have to be with church. It doesn't have to be like a religious, spiritual thing. It doesn't have to include prayer and fasting, all of that. But if you can spare the time, January is the time to take that time. What am I saying? To prepare well. If you can, just a few days. It doesn't have to be 21, 14, 7, 3, whatever. Just you need to give that time in January because that is where you're preparing. Then I will say break your resolutions down. Honestly, one of the problems I've had over the years is I just give myself big expectations, huge expectations for the year. It's like, I'm just going to write down this. They are goals, they are achievable, they are intentional, they are impressive. But in the long run, how easy is it for me to just strike off those goals at once? I don't know if that makes sense. For instance, some of you now, every year for the past decade, you've resolved to go to the gym. This is the year I go to the gym. January 2018, I will start gymming. January 2019, I will start gymming. 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. This year, I start going to the gym. And you never end up going to the gym. Why? Because as the year goes on, you find you don't have time. You find there's no convenient place, there's no close gym around you. You find that you don't even have the money. You don't have gym wear. You don't know what you're going to do there. Even if you can afford gym, you can't afford the coach. So many things just get in the way. The chances are if you set that exact goal again, this year I go to the gym, you probably fail again. Another example now, money, setting financial goals. By the end of the year, I'm going to have saved 500,000 naira. Boom, it's written there. By the time the year is going, and it rolls around again, you realize you haven't saved 500,000 naira. Not because you were incapable of it, but because you did not break your goals down into something smaller, more achievable. Now, I'm not going to claim to be an expert. I'm definitely not an expert on goal setting or life stuff in general. I'm literally just figuring it out. But from my experience, modularizing your goals, that's like dividing them into smaller tasks, from what I've learned, heard other people say, is very important. It's an easy way to accomplish your goals. Let's use the gym example. You want to go to the gym. You can start by properly researching gyms. You can set the goal like, okay, first 2 weeks of January, I'm going to research gyms around. I'm going to find at least 5 gyms and do my comparisons. 5 gyms around me, different distances, I'm going to find out their prices, their schedules, see how it aligns. In fact, before that, I would say you can even first start by figuring out your fitness goals. A lot of us just want to go to the gym because everybody's doing it. It sounds cool to say, yes, I go to the gym. It's aesthetic. You can get nice pictures and videos there. Some people, because you can probably meet people there, fine boys, gym bros, and all of that. But when you think of your fitness goals, do you actually need to go to the gym? Or can you just start running daily or walking? There are different ways to be fit. Or can you even invest in some equipment that you can just use at home? Instead of paying monthly gym subscription, you could just buy some specific equipment that you need at home. It all comes down to you and your fitness goals. It comes down to what you want. So it could be a goal you set, like, oh, I want to first figure out my intentions for going to the gym. So this January, I won't just say start gymming or start going to the gym or start working out. I'll say no, a goal for January, figure out my fitness goals. That is perfectly valid. The same thing goes for money. Oh, I plan to save 500k by December. Break it down. I plan to save 500 naira weekly throughout January. See how it goes. If it works, you increase it. I plan to save 1,500 weekly. I plan to save 2,000 weekly, and keep on increasing like that. Like I said before, I am not an expert. In fact, I'm not qualified to give advice. So don't take this as advice. Like, so just take it as what I've learned from life, what I've learned from hearing other people talk, that I am also giving to you, my dear listeners. I'll take myself as an example. This whole reading thing, in fact, normally I'm a reader, like I'm a huge reader. I can say that I love to read. And when I start to read, I lock in completely. When I pick a book, I don't want to drop it. In fact, I can tell you one of my top 5 worst feelings, or let me say top 10 worst feelings in the world, like in my life, is having to interrupt my reading. The moment I get into it, if I pick up a book, I'm like, oh, I'm going to read this. The moment I get into it, I don't want to put the book down for any reason. I remember right from primary school, after, lights out, when mommy and daddy have said, okay, good night, I turn out the lights, go to bed, I will literally carry a flashlight and go under my blanket and keep reading. I'm that bad. I will sacrifice my eyes just because I don't want to interrupt my reading. I read The Secret History in a single night. I'm not bragging, but I am a reader. So I would tell you that this year, when I had my whole reading list, I plan to be very committed, very dedicated to it. But I've just had a lot of activity going on this year. Just these 2 or 3 weeks of this year, there's been a lot going on. So I have not been able to settle to give the kind of time I would want to my reading. For that reason, I just kept on putting it off. It's like, if I won't be able to dedicate like 5-6 hours to read this book and hopefully finish it, then I'm not even going to touch it. And like that, half of the month is gone, more than half of the month is gone, and I haven't even accomplished my reading target. I had to make an adjustment. I had to tell myself, okay, if you plan to do something differently this year, like I said, previous years I've had my reading list, and a lot of times I would read like 5 books out of my reading list in like 2 weeks, and then after that I'll go another 3-4 months without reading, just cause I wasn't pacing myself right. So this year I decided, okay, I'm going to pace myself right. This year I'm going to change my approach to my reading. And so I had to like tell myself consciously, okay, we have to find a way around this. I keep on saying have to, I don't even, but basically we must find a way around this. So I figured I will read a chapter a day at least. Whether I have enough time to go farther than a chapter, if I have enough time, I'll read as many chapters as possible. But if I don't have enough time, minimum of a chapter, and it's working. Yes, it's a better approach than anything I've done before. So I can say I am proud of myself for that. Now, I said all this to say January is a slow period. Yes, January is generally a picking up period. Is where people are, gathering themselves again. It's like at the beginning of a race where everybody's still like getting into it, having a brutal full speed. And that's perfectly fine. It's natural. It's natural to be beginning again. You're basically starting again, which reminds me of our first ever episode, but you're basically starting again. You're stepping into a new year. You're stepping into a new phase, a new level, possibly new routines, new habits, new mental states, and all of that is good. But there should be room for easing in. It's not about rushing. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. If you notice, when people run marathons, they normally start at a jog. Now, I'm not saying this to discourage people taking their lives seriously. I respect people that can just hit it hard from the start. But I will say, for those of us that don't always quite get it perfectly immediately, those of us that still stumble and fumble and generally just mess around a bit in January, I think it's perfectly okay, as long as your vision remains clear to you, as long as you have what you have in your mind before your eyes and you're not misplacing it. it's okay to pick yourself up. It's not a competition. You're not racing against the clock. You're not racing against anybody. It's just you against you. So what's the point in rushing? Like I said, this is not an encouragement to be slack. This is not an encouragement to procrastinate. This is not an encouragement to be lazy or shirk your responsibilities. But this is an encouragement to just, it's okay to struggle a bit. It's okay to find your footing. Just make sure that you do find your footing. That's basically that on that. I have admitted I am failing January, and if you're listening to me and you are failing January too, quote and unquote failing, because really, are we failing? Failure cannot be determined at the beginning. But yes, if you're like me and you're struggling through January, or January is not Januarying the way you thought it would, I just want you to know that it's perfectly fine, and you can take it easy on yourself, and you can regroup, you can re-strategize, and hit the ground running from tomorrow. No, I'm not going to say hit the ground running from February, because there's no rule that says you have to wait. You can hit the ground running from tomorrow. You can hit the ground running from right now if you want to. So that's the summary. Okay, by the way, I'm reading, my current read is Letters to a Young Poet by Rainier Mary Rilke. Or is it Rilke? I don't know. Rainier Mary Rilke. I really should start checking pronunciations of names. Yes, I should start doing that. I always say that and say I don't know, and that's not ideal. So yes, I promise by next episode I'll make sure to confirm all pronunciations before I say them. Anyway, I'm reading Letters to a Young Poet, and like I said, I haven't gone very far, but he's a very insightful man. I really just discovered him like last month. I was like trying to curate my reading list, so I was doing a bit of research, and I found out about him. I saw a few quotes by him. I'm like, okay, I should put this guy in. Like, I should read this guy. He's solid. He was smart. He was a poet, obviously. And this book is basically about his interactions with another poet via letters they were writing. Well, his responses to the guy's letters, really. And so far he's talking themes of like solitude, themes of life, finding the beauty in life, finding your passion if you're really for art. And I'm enjoying the book. Like, I'm enjoying it. It's a nice read. It's a very impactful read from what I have so far. So I hope I finish. No, I will finish. I promise I'll finish. I'm winding down now, so thank you for listening to today's episode. Thank you for subscribing, for recommending us to people you think might enjoy listening. Why am I saying us? For recommending me and my podcast. Well, us, because you guys are my podcast family now. But anyway, thank you. Thank you. As always, I look forward to hearing from anybody that has anything to share. Feel free to leave your likes and comments and reposts or reshares on Instagram. You can send me messages via email or Instagram DMs. And oh yes, we have cards now. The link will be in the description of the episode and also in the bio on our Instagram. This year, I wasn't going to share this before, but I'm just going to say this year, I'm planning to make this a video podcast. Yes, I'm planning to add video to this. So I'm just putting it out there for accountability. I've put it out there. I can't go back on my word. So you guys just keep rooting for me. I'll do my best. Soon we'll have video. Just a little bit of good news to share. Well, it's personal good news, but I still want to share. This is a safe space. So 2 things. Someone complimented my skin today. For people that know me well and have met me in person, you know that I've had like challenges with my skin, and I've done a lot of things. Like, I've tried so many different things, but finally I started a treatment and it's working. I just crossed the 1 month mark like 2 days ago, and I can tell you it's already having so much improvement. I got a compliment today from somebody that is not my family member, not my mother, not my sister, not a stranger obviously, but like somebody from not my household. So yes, it felt good. Secondly, I'm waiting for my call-up number. I got my call-up number. I'm waiting for my call-up letter. To my Nigerian listeners, I'm talking about NYSC. It is 2:14 a.m. Yes, I'm recording in the night because in the daytime I can never find peace and quiet. I'm joking, partly. But yeah, I'm waiting on my call-up letter now. I'm excited. NYSC is a whole new chapter. Let's see where it takes me. That's all. I'm shy now. I've said my good news. I'm shy. I was thinking about podcasts. Nobody is replying you in real time. You're just talking into your device, feeling stupid. Anyway, that's the end of this episode. Thank you all for listening, for tuning in. Don't forget to recommend this to anybody that you think would enjoy it. And, have a great day. Have a great week. Happy Tuesday. For the fourth and last time, because I'm not saying this again, the next episode is in February to be outdated by then. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. It's a blessed one for us all. Bye.